Hello and welcome to more Super Mario Sunshine. In the last episode, we defeated Team Rocket at their own headquarters and at the Lavender Tower, and we received the Poke Flute. In this episode, I will fight the Snorlax, and we will make our way to Fuchsia City. In the last episode, at the very end, I said I would decide which way I wanted to go, through Cycling Path, or east of Vermilion City. I chose this route because I think Cycling Path is a bit shorter, and it'll make for better content. You know, you probably don't want to see me fight like 50 of the same bird catcher over and over again. More importantly, I think I made Cycling Path more of an interesting challenge. The trainers there, yeah, their Pokemon can be kind of repetitive, but I did customize all of their move sets, so it should be an interesting experience, hopefully. Now, this Snorlax is not a weather Pokemon, but, you know, its design is cool. I like it. I like the way it came out. So I'm catching it anyway. Yeah, there is a hidden item under that Snorlax. I think it's the leftovers. I think that's how you get in this game, but you need the item finder. There are some items in this game that you can just pick up, and there are some that you specifically need the item finder for. Why they chose to make it like that, I will never know. It's not like that in literally any other Pokemon game in existence. But there are a few items like that. The same could be said of the Macho Brace in this game, which is found right under where Giovanni is standing. Also, that's how you get the Amulet Coin, which I don't need because there's not a lot to do with money in this game. So Cycling Path is still a bike path that obviously hasn't changed. But these guys are still standing here, just menacingly looking around for no reason. I think in the base, FireRed and Leaf Green, these guys are some of the best way to grind for both levels and EVs. I think one of them uses a Machamp, and you can just get attack EVs really easily that way. Yeah, I changed all of their dialogue to be polite and posh instead of the usual, you know, rough and tumble. How to use first line? Yeah, I like playing around with the text. Wheezing here, I think we've seen before. It's more physically bulky than specially bulky, but even then, Icy Wind is not going to hit very hard. Ouch, Sludge does a lot of damage here. And we get poisoned, unfortunately. Yeah, here we see Weezing's physical bulk coming into play. Ancient Power does not do much damage. Let's see. I wonder if any of our current Pokemon can learn Fly. Yes, Nimbus actually can, and I will probably use Fly instead of Bite. We haven't really had much need for that. And we do have a Dark type, and so I'll just use Fly to heal myself up at Celadon City. Fly will be convenient because I don't plan on like blitzing the gyms, but when we do, what is love? But when we do need to fight a gym, we can just fly back to the city it's in. Okay, we luckily dodged the poison there. Coughing should be a lot less threatening than wheezing. And we dodge a poison there as well, that's very lucky. Let's have ourselves a good time. Wow, these gentlemen are so polite. Okay, Magmar should be relatively easy to take out with ground type move. Wheezing, actually, yeah, now that I think about it, Wheezing would have been a good use case for a bite. Ouch, explosion there. Very unfortunate. Furo shouldn't be. Yeah, Furo's very easy to deal with. Unfortunately, Junimo is not going to be very good in this route because most of the trainers here use Poison-type Pokemon, but I would like to get Nuvolette some levels, so I'll heal up and then come back right here. Okay, and we're back. This guy's quite peckish, so he wants some beans on toast. Very relatable, if I do say so myself. Yes, indeed. Nidoking we know is a fighting type, so our flying type will be a good counter for that. Machoke is an ice type, so Nuvolette can wall his stab. Hail not going to do anything. Nuvolette gaining a level there. Okay. So I'm not sure if I'd like to challenge every trainer on this route, which I usually do, but I will try. Persian might actually have a threatening fighting type move here, although it's not going to use it. Yeah, it's just going to growl. Golduck, we know, is also water fighting, so... Ouch, we do actually get poison there. Water Sport is one of the worst moves ever. It is genuinely horrendous. There's pretty much no use case for it. Okay, here we see Goldeen. Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier that I am satisfied with the way Seaking came out. But so here's where you get one of those. Yeah, I think I might prioritize making my way to Fuchsia City over fighting all the trainers here. Even though I am happy with some of the way, with some of their movesets. Just because Fuchsia is where we get the HM for Surf, and Surf is needed to get our next team member. So I really do want to prioritize that. And we can come back and fight those guys on Cycling Road anytime we want. For now though, I think I want the Fishing Rod, just in case there is another Swift Swim user in this game that we have yet to see. We can cut these trees. Honestly, I don't like these trees being here at all. I think in a previous ROM hack of mine I just removed them altogether, but since I did buff cut in this game, it's actually like kind of worth using. I just kept the trees. Safari Zone I've gone through enough times to know where I'm going by now. There's still a bunch of good items here though, so it might take one or two attempts just to get what we actually need from here. Yeah, like the Leaf Stone, I think is what evolves Junimo, but like I said, I will hold off on the stone evolutions. Sunny Day is always nice to have on a weather team, although I doubt I will be using it. Full Restore there could help reduce the amount of money we need to spend at the end of the game preparing for the Elite Four. Ouch, I missed an item there, that's unfortunate, but I doubt it's necessary. I think in a different ROM hack of mine, I put a cave right here in this spot where you could get Celebi. I had fun using Celebi in my playthrough with that ROM hack. I never actually released it, but it was fun while it lasted. Here we see Cantonian Paldean Tauros. Kind of an odd freak of nature, but we don't question it. Here we see Chansey. who is a chef in this game. I kind of just took Chansey's archetype and completely inverted it. So instead of being a passive wall that just sits there, it is an all-out attacker. Like, this thing is vicious. Okay, this is the area containing the teeth that we need for strength, and the rest house that contains surf. So technically we have everything we need already. Which is nice. So how many spare steps do we have? 155 steps. Okay. That's pretty good. I mean, I doubt we can backtrack to that one item we missed. And it's not like we can actually use surf yet. We do need Koga's badge for it. But maybe I'll just use it to see if I can hunt down anything that's interesting that we haven't seen yet. No, just Nidorino. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to encounter the Chansey again. I don't even remember if I changed Chansey's flee rate. You can actually do that in the Pokemon editor that I used. Okay, let's see if we can redeem ourselves. No, okay, yeah, I might not have changed it, honestly. I might not have seen it as worth it. But because you can get Chansey elsewhere in the game without having to rely on the Safari Zone. As fun as the Safari Zone is, or can be sometimes, I honestly think it's not very good game design to have, like, the mud and the rock mechanics not explained to you at all, explicitly. The system itself is kind of confusing, and it might be bugged in this game. Not this ROM hack, no, like, not my fault that it's bugged, it's just bugged in the vanilla games. But now that we have Surf, we can teach it to Neuvillette. Instead of the god-awful Bubble, we can teach it to Nimbus instead of Water Pulse. Yeah, Nimbus is going to be a great rain user, so we definitely want Surf on it. It's going to be its strongest water-type move. Certainly for a while. Gyarados probably still retains Surf in its move pool because I probably didn't want to alter the distribution of HM users. Yeah, this Seal is kind of annoying, but that's fine. Nimbus can take care of it. Here we see Porygon for the first time, and I'm really happy with this design. I did have to alter it substantially, but yeah, I love the shading on this. This is great. And Porygon does not evolve in this game. Porygon 2 and Porygon Z are not Gen 1 Pokemon, and the Gen 1 is infamously restrictive in its dex. If you've ever tried to use a Golbat in the vanilla FireRed and Leaf Green games, you'll know that once you hit the friendship threshold for it to evolve, it just starts attempting to evolve at every single level, but it never actually evolves. Very unfortunate. Not until you get the national dex, anyway. Yeah, here we see Poliwhirl using Flame Wheel. It is Psychic type, but the Fire type coverage might be nice against Steels. Just another example of how I wanted to give every Pokemon something interesting to put in its move pool. We can also trade in the teeth that we picked up on the ground, on the dirty, dirty floor of the Safari Zone. And he's just not going to wash it. We're going to give it to him, and he's going to put those teeth right into his mouth. Excellent. Here we see Strength as a Rock-type move, so Snad is able to learn it, which is very nice. It is 70 power, only 10 greater than Ancient Power, but it has 10 more power points, which could be useful. Scourge, I could switch it to Scourge, but that's not necessary. And we get the rare candy for it. Alright. I think we still have time to fight the trainers in Koga's gym. Maybe I'll save Koga for next time. Yeah, this guy is using Lawyer Hypno, one of my favorite designs for this game. I will never not be excited about seeing it. I should have been using Strength there. It is more powerful, I think. Slack Off is a good move. Realistically, as cool as it is to have spikes, Slack Off is probably just going to be infinitely more useful. This guy is a magician who gave up on becoming a magician to become a ninja. That's one hell of a life story. Should you say that in a job interview? Kadabra is grass, so Cold Front can handle it. Okay, Junimo will be able to handle this Voltor, but as a heads up, just for full transparency purposes, I am going to replace Junimo right after we get Surf and get access to our next weather party member. Not only do we not have a single sun setter on this team, but even if Junimo did have chlorophyll to make use of the sun that we can't set, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't have chlorophyll. Wow, I phrased that in the worst way possible. But you get what I mean. It doesn't have chlorophyll, and even if it did, we couldn't use it. Yes, Ned is just walling the hell out of this Arbok. Embarrassing. Sandslash, we've seen before. I think I will give that experience to Nuvolette. We get to one-shot it with Surf. It doesn't get the the special defense boost from being a rock type in sand. That's not a feature in this gen. Honestly, weather was kind of an extremely undercooked feature when it came out. Even in Gen 9, weather is still being changed with how hail got changed to snow. It's honestly kind of wild how undercooked snow and hail in particular were when they came out. Like, we got Swift Swim and Chlorophyll immediately as soon as Gen 3 came out. Like, they were among the first abilities to be added. But it took them until Gen 5 to add Sand Rush, and it took them until Gen 9 to add Slush Rush, or no, until Gen 8 to add Slush Rush. So, seems like hail is just the least favorite weather. Yeah, we're getting kind of cooked by these random Arboks. Okay, thankfully we survive. Yeah, I might be slightly under-leveled for this gym, or maybe my levels are on par and they're just using fully evolved Pokemon while mine aren't, and that's why it seems hard. I think Wartortle is on the cusp of evolution. Yeah, I'm excited to see Blastoise's design. In case you don't know, the trick for this gym is that you can actually see which tiles are the impassable ones. They have these little white spots in the corners. Oh, yeah, okay. That's not going to do much. Yeah, here we see Hypno's great bulk and support capabilities, although it is a bit passive. Realistically, you want to set up Calm Mind, Wish, and then Baton Pass to something else. Yeah, but the AI would never actually know how to use Baton Pass effectively. Even if you gave the trainer AI the most stacked Baton Pass team you could possibly build, it wouldn't know how to use it. Here's Koga, and I think I will save Koga for next time. So until then, thanks for watching, and goodbye!